LinkedIn is such a humiliation ritual. Before I had the job that I have currently, I did not have a job for almost 6 months, and that is the longest that I've ever went without having a job since I turned 18 years old. I've been an active worker pretty much my entire adult life, and this is the first time in probably 10 to 12 years that I did not work for over 90 days. And when I started using LinkedIn or I was told about LinkedIn, it was it kind of blew me away in terms of why we use this and why it's okay for corporations to use this website because I feel like it's just another thing for them to judge us on. And I feel like it's so unnecessary. It's so outdated. I don't understand the appeal or the point for companies for the employees or people searching for a job to post like it's Facebook and constantly try to promote businesses or updating that on LinkedIn. I just feel like, especially the younger generations. I mean, I'm a millennial, but I feel like even the younger generations just we don't understand LinkedIn. To us, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. When I was growing up, Indeed was something that I used pretty constantly to look for jobs, or I would have to walk up, at the mall and ask for a paper application. But, a lot of places don't even do paper applications anymore. Everything's digital, which is good because I feel like that makes it easier for people. But at the same time, I feel like it's such a ridiculous thing to request people to make a profile when we already have all these other apps like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And now you're asking me to make an account for my business or my professional side of my career. And you're telling me that I have to engage with all these other people that are just basically kissing up to these corporate companies and basically talk about how awesome it is to work for these places when most of the time that these places don't offer competitive wages and or they're outsourcing their work to third parties. I just noticed like the last year, like when I really tried to go at LinkedIn, because previously, I had experience banking. I got into banking. I was given an opportunity to learn banking, and I wanted to try to go back into that department. And one of the things was, oh well, my girlfriend tells me, well, you need to update your LinkedIn profile, and you need to create a LinkedIn profile. And I had never really used LinkedIn like that until 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And then when I created it, and I noticed that it wants you to connect and follow all these people, and I just don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. I think it's just so demeaning to apply for 2 to 300 positions and constantly get told, oh, unfortunately, we're going with another candidate. Oh, but, thanks for, following us and connecting with us. Thanks for reaching out to us. And I just feel like it's kind of ridiculous to ask people, and why are we doing these concepts of basically just another profile for people to see and judge you based off of how much I put into it. People should not put that much weight into my LinkedIn profile. I would think that you look at my resume, and then if I have the experience and you talk to me, then you would judge it based off that. But I feel like these companies with AI, especially now, they definitely run your resume through AI. And if it doesn't register with, like a percentage of something that aligns with what they're looking for, it's just an automatic no. I feel like they don't even look at their own applications anymore. I feel like they took the human part out of that aspect. Like, for me, I've never been super amazing at connecting and trying to get, into a position, but I'm really good at once I get an interview and, talking to someone and kind of giving them my energy and my experience, they get to talk to me a little bit more. But I feel like now that's not even part of the process. It's just a program that they just run through, and if it doesn't match exactly what they're looking for, then it's just on to the next candidate. And there are so many fake style jobs on LinkedIn as well. Like, you have to be careful. You're telling me that a lot of these companies put a lot of merit onto your profile of a website that could have fake jobs listed on it. And most of the time, I noticed I was applying for remote positions that certain places ask that you stay in a certain state or a certain county. And I was so blown away that people still put merit into this website. This is, I was told, my girlfriend told me that companies look at this. They look at your LinkedIn profile sometimes over your resume, and that is absolutely insane to me. When did this become such a humiliation ritual where I have to basically be the clown dancing in front of these companies, or the jester just dancing in front of these companies asking, for an opportunity for them to even talk to me. And I have done interviews, quote unquote interviews, where they don't even interview me. They just send me a link to record myself. And I think that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't you're taking the human aspect out of applying for jobs, and you want us to use these websites that we don't put a lot of merit into or a lot of like trust into, because they have been known to have fake companies or fake job listings, and you do work for free or get ghosted. Getting ghosted is that's a whole nother topic, where I feel like a conversation is going good with someone or a recruiter, and then all of a sudden I don't hear back for weeks, or even days, and then all of a sudden I get a automated email saying, "Oh, unfortunately, we're going to go with another candidate this time." They don't explain why. They don't give me feedback, and if I ask for feedback, they don't tell me or even respond to me half the time, because it's an automated email or it says don't respond to this email. So I think it's kind of insane that we've allowed these companies to just basically use this website and push so much onto it. And I don't want, I already have all these other social media accounts, and I already don't really like using those to begin with. Like, I barely use Facebook. I barely use Instagram. I don't know, remember the last time I used Twitter or anything like that. So I've thought about deleting those things, and you're telling me that this is just one more thing that I have to put on there, and then promote and now I've been told that, once I got the job that I got, my girlfriend told me, "Oh, make sure to update your LinkedIn profile and post about it, so that way people know, other recruiters know, when if you're, looking for another job or something, that they know that you're working and what you're doing, and that you're excited to be doing it." And I thought that was the most insane thing, because I feel like I should have to do is update my resume, and then have people look at my resume, and if they ask me about my history, then I tell them about my history. But apparently this is just something that this is just new. This is just the standard now. And I didn't realize how hard it was to apply and get a job until, this past year. And it made me realize that I would much rather be just doing seasonal work, the stuff that I'm doing now, where I'm only working 6 months out of the year, and then I take 6 months off. I'd much rather be doing that than trying to find a corporate job or something, where I'm working 9 to 5 basically, because that just seems impossible. I applied for over 200 positions, and I maybe got 5 interviews, maybe six. And I've had a lot of experience with customer service, client service, things like that. And it was just kind of amazing to me that this is just a new norm, and it's going to get worse for people even younger than me. I can't even imagine being 18 or 21, getting out of college, and having to do this. Like, oh, make a LinkedIn profile, post on LinkedIn, here, post your resume, do all of this, your cover letter, and then they just throw it into AI, and just, if it doesn't match with what they're looking for, then they just don't reply to you. Or they just say, unfortunately, we're not, you don't qualify, or you're not qualified enough to for the next round of interviews. And they, like I said, they won't explain. I think the worst for me was I was offered a position and they were having trouble getting my transcripts. So I went out of my way to get my transcripts for them and I sent them my transcript. And then they, because of I was, homeschool, it doesn't state that I had graduated, even though I've had so many background checks and so many things. And it was just such a back and forth thing with these recruiters. They just move the goalpost. They just, oh, I want your transcript, or oh, well, I want your resume, and then you give them this information, and it's like they don't even go over it. They just were told by the system to hire you, and then they don't understand. They don't know anything about you. And at this point, I had not even had a real interview with these people. They had offered me a position, and they had not even spoke to me. And I think that's pretty crazy. And I think that's pretty heartless and soulless. And I don't want to be a part of that. So I'm good with just working these seasonal positions and then taking my 6 months off. Eventually, I want to maybe try to find a remote job or something. And I think that's going to be a nightmare because, once again, I'm going to have to use LinkedIn and I'm going to have to try to go through all of those hurdles as a gesture. Again, showing off my dance to try to impress these people. But guys, if you've ever felt the same way about LinkedIn or think it's ridiculous, definitely let me know about the stories because I've heard some crazy stuff about LinkedIn or Indeed or ZipRecruiter. So yeah, guys, just something that's been bothering me lately, and I've just been thinking about it. So I'll talk to you later. Peace.